It's been about 2 days since DC officially cancelled the Red Hood series from Gretchen Felker-Martin after this unhinged lunatic made disgusting posts online celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk. It was the only thing DC could do, because despite the fact DC needs a lot of help, because like I said in a previous video, that company needs some help. The people that they hire, the things that they do are pretty messed up. Because Gretchen Felker-Martin made several posts before indicating that this person is very unhinged. This person called for violence. This person called for people to go out and do things. Talked about killing J.K. Rowling and other journalists. Anybody that does not absolutely agree with whatever lunatic thing Gretchen Felker-Martin is saying needs to be hunted down and murdered. That's how this person looks at things. That's the indicator that it had. It's very easy to find all this thing that this person put out, yet DC hired this person and gave them Red Hood to write, and they were perfectly happy to do so. And now, after this horrific assassination, they had to get rid of the person. They had to cancel the book. Like I said, they haven't gotten any thing about anything about it, because DC doesn't actually fire people. They have them working on contract, and they could just choose not to continue with the contract, right? And that is what happened. Let's take a moment to also go over here to this article at Fandom Pulse and say that Sony confirms firing of Ghost of Yotei developer Drew Harrison, but does not explain why. Sony confirmed it fired Sucker Punch and Ghost of Yotei developer Drew Harrison after she celebrated Charlie Kirk's assassination. In a statement issued to Kotaku, Sony confirmed Harrison was fired but did not provide any other additional information. Drew Harrison is no longer an employee of Sucker Punch Productions. That is what's going on, right? Because this person, you understand me, commented on this thing that this other person put here, John Walker put out after the assassination of Charlie Kirk. He died doing what he loved, being a transphobic, racist bigot. This is the kind of nonsense. And then Drew jumped in and put I hope the shooter's name is Mario so that Luigi knows his bro got his back. These people are in the gaming and entertainment industry, and this is the nonsense they put out. And Sony fired the person, but never actually come out and say anything. Same thing in regards to DC. They don't actually come out and say anything. They just act like, well, we go in and say this about that, and we fired the person has been let go, to cancel something, but we're not actually saying anything in regards to it. But what was really disturbing and sick, right, is that there are people online acting like Gretchen Felker-Martin is the victim, not Charlie Kirk, who was murdered, not his wife or his young children who have now lost their husband and father. You understand me? Or his family. No, the victim is Gretchen Felker-Martin, because Gretchen Felker-Martin is the real victim here. That's what these people have put out. And now, one of my subscribers sent me this information. I want to say thank you to that person, right? They sent me this information, and this is how I got the update, because I was shocked when I saw this, to tell you how messed up these people truly are. This first post here, Gretchen Felker-Martin wasn't fired because of online discourse. She didn't get fired because of the quality of the comic she wrote. She got fired because she, as a trans woman, refused to show sympathy towards a fascist. That's what we need to focus on here. Because you must never, and I mean never, fire trans people or anything. Right? This is the level of lunacy that's gotten to. This is what we encouraged by allowing this. This person should not be fired for celebrating the murder of a person. No, they should be allowed to continue to do as they damn well please. You understand me? they should be allowed to continue, given more books, given more money. This is what's supposed to happen. They're not supposed to be condemned for this nonsense. That is wrong. You understand? And then they come on and say that, which refuse to show sympathy towards our fascists. Charlie Kirk was not a fascist. All the greatest sin Charlie Kirk ever did was wanting to have open dialogue and discussion with people. That is it. That is it. But no, this is supposed to be what was. And I mean, I don't want anybody to go out and attack anybody who posts any of these things online. Please, these people are already insane on their own. You don't need to go and antagonize crazy people. So please don't do that. But this is what it. But the person then followed up with another post. So many of you are framing this disingenuously and making excuses for DC's blatant double standards. Now is not the time to make sure everyone knows that you think she's a weirdo or a bad writer or whatever, because none of that is relevant to why she was fired. Now, I'm not going to say that, it's actually he, but apparently, not only because this person is trans, they shouldn't be fired, right? No. The fact of the matter is that, it doesn't matter if this person is a weirdo or a bad writer, which you have pretty much said here. It doesn't matter if this person is a weirdo or a bad writer. No, this person should be employed. This person should be continued to get work, should be continued to be paid while they go out there and put out some of the most vile, disgusting things possible. Within mere months of learning that Charlie Kirk was shot, this person went out there and posted that, some Nazi bitch comment. That is it. That is how messed up this person is. But this person should never be in any way, shape, or form face any kind of consequences for anything that they say. No, you're wrong for ever thinking that. You are very wrong for ever thinking that. But of course, it didn't stop there. The person then went on to say, also, we should not overlook the fact that Felker-Martin, a trans woman, has had far more vitriol directed at her over online drama than any of her cis male co-workers. But I'm sure none of that is remotely indicative of any sort of underlying bias or prejudice. Okay, so you're saying that this person has had far more vitriol directed at her over online drama. The online drama, was this perhaps when this person went out and bragged about writing a story where they murdered J.K. Rowling? Was it when this person advocated for slitting J.K. Rowling's throat? Was it when this person went out there and openly talked online about how, bring some reporter who they didn't like to the edge of tongue and deal with that person? Or could it have been when this person went out there and talked about how, Osama bin Laden blowing up the World Trade Center was the most defensible thing that he ever did? But no, they want to act like, this person is a trans woman, so obviously this person is being hated and hunted down and attacked and all of this nonsense. That is what they're going to go about, that any of us cis male co-workers. If people don't put shit out online and behave like an unhinged lunatic, nobody's going to tell you anything. Nobody. But no, that is the problem. You understand me? This person is a victim because they're trans, and that means you must never fire them. They must face no consequences for anything that they do. They must be allowed to go out there and say whatever the hell they want. I want to talk about how, cis male co-workers face any kind of retribution for anything that they may say, and it's all this and that, and nobody should ever have to do things. No, there are people who go out and say stupid things online and get called out for it. Case in point, Stephen King. Yes, Stephen King apologizes for libelous tweet he used to justify Charlie Kirk's assassination. Yeah, what did Stephen King put out? He advocated stoning gays to death. Just saying. Charlie Kirk never said that. Never said that. But Stephen King went up and said it, and people were pissed off about the nonsense he put out. They didn't expect to follow up and say something about, oh, it wasn't that, and this and the other, and think, other than the other, before going out to attack the man again. The man was murdered, and this is what you're going out. It is the blatant, bold-faced lies. He never said that. Never said it. But no, according to the online, Gretchen Felker-Martin is the real victim because this person is trans, and then they should be allowed to do whatever they want, and anything that doesn't happen, everybody is ganging up and hating on this person. This is the level of nonsense that keeps going. But you think people would say, well, okay, that's enough, I'm going to done with that. No, there were other people jumping in. You understand me? You had Alex DeCampi, known to be a bold-faced scumbag in the comic book industry, came out and put out a post here. On a practical note, Gretchen is now out about $1,400 a month. DC's opening page rate is still $70 for writers. Yeah. So please go buy her books, Manhunt, Cuckoo, and Black Flame, and very important, leave short, glowing reviews about them online to help with the algorithm. So Manhunt is about a bunch of dykes who go around in some crazy world where everybody who have testosterone is some kind of, it's a book where Gretchen Felker-Martin openly bragged about in that book. You understand me? Her characters murdered J.K. Rowling. But no, you should go out, buy these books, and leave glowing reviews. Because this unhinged nut job is supposed to be getting these glowing reviews. Everybody else is wrong. We're all wrong for thinking that, but no, this is what's going on. Because according to Alex DeCampi, you understand me? This person is out of work. It doesn't matter the horrible, disgusting things this person posted after the assassination of a man who was talking to people. No, that's perfectly fine. You have to go out there and buy their crap books and leave glowing reviews. God, no wonder you're known as a scumbag. No wonder you're known as a scumbag in truth. But just because everybody has to jump in and find something else to say, someone else comes out and puts out a post here saying, so they're firing a writer for posting about the death of a fascist, but the guy who participated in the deaths of countless people in Iraq still writes Wonder Woman slop. Got it? Now they're referring to Tom King here, right? And I am not the biggest defender of Tom King. A lot of Tom King has written is just absolutely horrible. I've said so many times. And yes, Tom King was in the CIA. Yes, Tom King was in Iraq. But at no point in time, there's no evidence, no anything of any Tom King say anything at all. Plus, the fact he murdered anybody while in Iraq. No. But these people are so sick in the head. They will find anything, and I mean anything, no matter how twisted, they have to twist it to fit their own narrative to do that. They will come out and talk about, the guy who participated in the death of countless people in Iraq. Acting like if Tom King was just walking around Iraq strapped to the gills with also just killing any and everybody he could find. That never happened. I even saw somebody talk a while back about Tom King was torturing and killing people. That's never happened. You people are insane. You're making things up to push narratives. Like I said, I'm not a Tom King fan. Some people think it's terrible. But the guy never did that. But this is what you're coming out here to do. Because as far as they are concerned, Gretchen Felker-Martin is the real victim. You understand me? And how dare they fire Gretchen Felker-Martin? Say cancel. Because if I cancel Gretchen Felker-Martin's books, you understand me? For going out there and putting one of the most vile, disgusting things possible after Charlie Kirk's murder. But no, Tom King is writing Wonder Woman, and Tom King murdered people in Iraq, murdered countless people in Iraq. That never happened, but this is how their mind works. They will put together anything, and I mean anything, to get their point across. I also come to this thing I saw at some years ago when Eric July was talking with someone. I think I saw it either on his channel or somebody's at the top, but he was debating somebody in the comments. And this person was using some of the most vile, disgusting, racist remarks and stuff towards Eric July. And to his credit, Eric was taking the high road and just actually trying to have a civilized discussion with this person. Never at any point in time did he say anything racist? Did he cuss anybody? Anything like nothing. But this person was going full blown with it. And then after they had spouted what disgusting, reprehensible human being they are, they then turned around and accused Eric July of being racist. That is how these people work. As long as it fits into their wedded out, mind hive place, that's okay. They could say whatever the hell they want. You're wrong for ever thinking different. That is how they operate. This is what's going on. They want to paint Gretchen Felker-Martin as the hero for something. And then they follow up with this post somebody sent me here. Two people put out this, so this was the first one. I feel it is my responsibility as your mainstream comic book friend to further explain that what DC is doing to Gretchen is unprecedented. They haven't only canceled the series, they are refunding the comics that are already created and recalling the issue that is already sold. Should have never had that person write the book in the first place, as far as I'm concerned. But then somebody else followed up and put, hello everyone. You may know Gretchen Felker-Martin has once again been suspended from Blue Sky. They do that whenever some chud complains. Her brand new ongoing DC series was also cancelled for the same reason. It's stupid fascist bullshit as usual. Gretchen Felker-Martin was not suspended from Blue Sky because some chud complained. The person was suspended because they made nasty remarks celebrating murder. That is what happened. That is what happened. This is how sick these people are. They don't even realize how twisted in the mind they are. They are out here acting like Gretchen Felker-Martin is the victim in all of it, when clearly this person is a bold-faced antagonist of hate, of murder, of everything wrong with society. Charlie Kirk was murdered talking to people. And no, as far as they are concerned, he isn't the victim. His wife and children who lost their husband and father, they aren't the victims. His family aren't the victims. No, Gretchen Felker-Martin is the victim and Charlie Kirk was not the victim. You people are sick and disgusting. You're out there trying to defend that person that on multiple occasions have shown how absolutely vile and disgusting they are. And you're acting like, okay, that's supposed to be okay because you know why? This person is a trans woman. And it's nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. A man lost his life talking to people, and this inhuman, ungodly, disturbed individual celebrated it. But no, as far as you're concerned, Gretchen Felker-Martin is the victim. You people are sick. Absolutely sick and disgusting. Really sick and disgusting. You know what, you all take care. Have a good day. I'm so sick of this. It just keeps pissing me off to see how absolutely disturbed and disgusting these people are trying to defend this madness. Take care.